Hello, Eugene. Thank you so much for inviting us, the Silver Stars, to this show. We are very proud to perform the horror written by Lynn Dressel and myself, Elsa Faith, especially for the supernatural confession. Enjoy. Hello, Eugene.
I really don't feel good. I'm getting a
Is anyone here? What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.
Good Friday the 13th evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Live on Supernatural Confessions. My name is Eugene Tay. Joining me, you'll notice that our screen is quite different today. Wait, I'm hearing a lot of voices coming in from
my side because I'm in a hotel. So
so this is classic Sonia Corona going outside somewhere.
That's right.
We will find out soon enough where you are where in the world right now is Sonia Corona. Kim is busy today. He is going somewhere where he has no connection. So he cannot join us, unfortunately. But he has done all the legwork, cutting today's confession, putting all the videos together, including Know Your Hantu. So while he's not around, the spirit of Kim still remains. Unfortunately, none of us can tell the kind of jokes that Kim tells. So the club, I'm so sorry
You
today.
can try.
Yeah, I'm not going to try. I thank so many times. Yeah, yeah. And now seeing for the very first time, or probably the second time this year, very clearly, instead of standing down in one small box on the bottom right hand of the screen, he has his own vertical video today. His name is Joseph Dakota, JDC, the Apex Predator from Down Under.
I don't know why I did spirit fingers, but it's spirit fingers.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. It felt like the most masculine thing to do, but it turned out to be the most unmasculine thing. Good evening,
Jazz.
everyone. Thank
Was
you
it
again for joining. Sorry,
Jazz
you're saying
fingers.
something? Jazz fingers.
I said jazz, yes.
Jazz fingers are very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm somewhere interesting. I'm in my podcast room, somewhere in the middle of somewhere.
and Sonia, you
I'm
are
not in
obviously-
Sembawang.
Yeah, so you can't be as far as Sembawang. Where are you right now?
I'm just a bit further north. I'm up in Finland.
Yeah, like, it's about one more MRT stop away lah.
But isn't it closer?
I'm closer to the North Pole. I'm actually in this town called Turku in Finland, and in Turku, it's an older town. But if you go further north of Finland, Lapland, that's where Santa Claus is from.
Wow.
Yes, that's how much north I am.
Where would you?
Yeah.
Where would you be going when you finish this trip? Where will you fit? Yes, that was a joke.
So you've taken over telling the jokes today. Huh?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I tried searching for a very good joke, but like nothing ever like funny anything happens to me, right? Like kind of just today, I was walking past this kind of there's a brothel near my work. I work in a seedy part of town,
What?
so there's a
Wow.
yeah, there's a brothel down there, and there was a sign. Look, I didn't go in. I promise I didn't go in because there was a sign. It was kind of out of business, right? It was closed for the day, and it just said beat it, we're closed.
I wanted to say say
Doctor.
you know so much about this place and you've never been in.
I actually
joke,
I was actually considering actually going in for work. No jokes, jokes aside. I was considering going in for the type of work that I do to actually speak to sex workers. I was hoping to have a sex worker on my podcast just to ask a few questions, especially about how they work with people who, are in certain segments of society. That was going to be an interesting discussion, but I haven't got it. Hey, it's research purposes, bro. Research purposes.
I got
No
you.
one
bro.
believes me.
Alone.
No one believes me.
I was
I hate it.
going to say that the place I'm staying in, this used to be a prison right up till 2007. It's a converted prison. They've used the chains and the cell doors as well as any of the railings. They've used them as decoration. See?
Wow. So we should hopefully expect some
Yes.
paranormal activity to happen in your screen later on.
I know. So I just arrived here. I sent my bags up and everything. And the rooms used to be cells.
Ah. Sonia, you cannot end today's live show without at least giving us a Finnish horror story from where you are. Yeah, you gotta go and do some research and then give us a story before the end of the show.
This was a state prison right up till 2007. They converted it into a hotel just 2 years ago, 2020.
How old was it? How old is it?
I'm not sure. I've not done enough research because after I came here, then I looked around and I realized they tried to preserve as much of it as possible, its true essence. So the original bricks, and they've kept as much as they can. So I'll have more information later.
Okay.
More information to
Just
share.
also want to say hello, not to forget the guy who's today not on the postage stamp, but
Where
still
is
there
he?
nonetheless. Elvin De Cruz is working behind the scenes today. He doesn't want to show his face. And we're fine. We're fine with that. He has some stuff to do. He doesn't want us to see him do his
What?
stuff, whatever stuff that
What
And
stuff?
that makes me very nervous because he could be
Yeah.
doing anything. He could be
he could
butt
be
naked,
dipping it. Yeah.
juggling two bananas, and we would have no clue what he's doing. It makes
Yeah.
me very nervous.
Yeah.
I don't like it,
Uh,
Evan.
I think I want to say hello to some new names. And if you're new to Supernatural Confessions, please say hello. We want to say hello to you too. Regulars, thank you so much for coming back week after week. It really make us feel that what we are doing, spending time doing this show on Friday, really worthwhile. I remember when I was texting on a group chat and telling the guys, I'm sorry I cannot make Friday night for a movie night, I will have to do my live show. And Ariel actually said, you know what? If you're doing live show, we are all not going to be available on Friday night because we're all going to be watching live show. So thank you so much, Ariel, for saying that.
Yeah.
Some new names like Mr. David, Izu79, Eam74, Imagine Merlins. I think the clock says it's new, right? Sounds like a new guy there. We have KK coming back again, Lemon 25, Frankie that can be arranged. Saying hi, guys and girls. Uh, I know there's someone from New Zealand as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chris Pilgrim is back again. I think for a second time. Izuru Joseph, uh, all some relatively new. Ramesh says today better be scary because it's Friday the 13th. I will have you guys know
Mm.
a little bit history of Friday the 13th later on up today as well. And on Facebook, we have Erickson, SQ Fong, Mark Shipo, Carlos Cole, Ko Chuan Chong, KK Heng on both sides. KK Heng's on both sides. Yeah,
Hello, hello.
yeah. So hello to all of you. If you're listening to us on podcast on Monday and you're wondering who are these people and why are we rattling off names, that's because every Friday night live we are streaming live on both Facebook Supernatural Confessions as well as on YouTube Supernatural Confessions. So take your pick. Even if you want to just watch us, you don't like social media, you want to watch us live stream on our website supernaturalconfessions.com. But now, after speaking so much, I'm a little bit thirsty for some coffee. JDC, why don't you help us do that nice little segue?
You know what? If you're thirsty for coffee, wouldn't it be nice if some of our fans actually bought us a coffee? That would be nice,
Wow.
wouldn't it? Like a coffee or even a teh tarik. And
I don't
so
want to
if
impose, you know.
I
oh
want a
yeah,
chai latte. It's cold where I am.
you see, Sonia, you know, you're just gonna be the difficult part. Like, can I have the soy latte with almond
Uh-huh.
milk, with a few strands of organic
Saffron.
freaking
I would
saffron?
like, yes, I'd like organic saffron, please.
I knew. Oh my god. Well,
And
okay,
then,
look.
you know, while you're at it, please grate a little bit of nutmeg and, you know, a smattering of it on top.
This is why we need people to buy us a coffee. So if you want to buy Sonia's Frankenstein coffee, please help us out because we can't afford Sonia's coffee. We really can't. We can't.
It sounds like a
I'm gonna put it out
$25
there.
coffee.
Yeah, you know, saffron is it's worth more its weight than in gold, right? So you know she's
Yes.
got expensive taste. So in order to kind of help that, go to buymeacoffee.com/SE Friday Live. Buymeacoffee.com/SE Friday Live and buy us a coffee. We'll be eternally grateful to all of you.
So maybe JDC, you could put the link in the comment section. We'll pin it to the post. So what can you
Let's do
expect
that.
from today? We have 3 confessions from you. One, know your Hantu, and I will be sharing some stories because I read the group chat and some of you asking about hotel stories. I have one to share from Rasa Sentosa. I have
Ooh.
another story
Oh,
to
okay.
share about botanical gardens. So today will be chock full of stories. We don't have a guest with us, but I heard a little bird tell me that Jim Cole will be coming on next Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
There's other
okay.
names
Nice.
as well, like Kara, Iman, and a lot of other names that made the list. We will be contacting you guys to appear on our show as well. So if you want to appear on our show as a live guest, telling your stories live, the best place to do so is go to supernaturalconfessions.com. My number is there. WhatsApp me directly or message me. All right, moving on to the first part of the show. Alvin, do you have anything for us that you cruise the internet for? Okay, shit explains everything. Moving on to the segment after the shit segment, we have JDC doing housekeeping of the week. JDC, what do you have for us?
Oh, so he doesn't have it? Thank God. I was hoping that Alvin didn't have what I thought he was going to have, but that's okay. Let's just go on to my freaking segment. Alvin, could you please put up the picture? Now, what I'm going to explain is that this was a. Have you got it? Yeah, there we go. So
Oh, this one.
this was a post by Alicia Xiao Tamari, right? And she basically is talking about how there's this entity that's appearing in her office, appeared twice. And it was very light in terms of the description of what she's seen. But I think she works at it almost looks like a hospital, right? I don't know if you think it almost looks like a hospital to me. And that this apparition seems to be kind of appearing inside a room looking out. So the left side of the picture is basically an image that she's taken with a camera. And I think what it's meant to show was that in that little kind of rectangular space, there appears to be, I'm just, going off on the image that she's drawn on the right, someone that has long hair and possibly a shoulder on the right-hand side. Now, a few people have gone on the post and said, hey, I don't see anything in the photo, but there's a real strange vibe about the place. And Alicia has drawn that picture. Now, again, I don't know if that picture deliberately has no face on it or if she blurred it out. I don't think she's blurred it out, but it looks like a gray kind of mess down here. And I do not like things with no face. I need to know. I need to know if it's looking at me, if it's smiling at me, if it's winking at me. Tell me. If an apparition appears with no face like that, that's got to be quite creepy.
Yeah, it's when we find things like this, those of us without the gift of sight, we really cannot see anything. But that doesn't mean just because we can't see it, that others don't. And in this case, a platform like Supernatural Confessions, we have other people with the sight as well, and they corroborate and they actually tell you that they can see things or feel something there. Now, off the bat, I do not feel anything, but I agree with you, JDC, that anything without a face is freaking scary.
Yep.
And
that's because we are hardwired to look for faces. That's why with the pareidolia, even when you look around, sometimes you see faces out of shadows or just contours on in trees and on buildings. We are hardwired. Our sight is it will seek out faces, and we tell so much of a person's emotion based on their face.
Yeah.
So to not see it in that picture, I can understand how you feel about that, JDC.
Very interesting comments are coming in both from YouTube and Facebook, guys. So if you see any comments you want to read out, please just go ahead. In fact, those of the fans who have been following up on that post, they said the OP Alicia couldn't see the face. There is no face.
So what I'm looking at the post, what she said is that she was not able to see the face clearly. So there's a guess, but then again, we have received a lot of reports of people seeing apparitions when the face is quite fuzzy and they're just not quite able to make up features, which is quite strange.
Yeah. So Iman Arisa thinks that in the picture, it doesn't have anything, but the room, the vibe of the room does. So the photo was taken, but in that photo, there's no entity there, but there were things, the vibe was in the room. Apparently, Kara Wong has explained in the post as well. So if you're on the page or the group, go check out this particular post. Or JDC, if you're all right there right now, is there anything from Kara Wong that you want to share?
Yes, she actually posted. I was reading her comments a little bit before. Let me just scroll down. And okay, so basically, she talks about her 2 cents worth, right? So she's saying, firstly, there's nothing physically in the photo, but there's something in that room. So I'm going to read it. Sometimes I discourage photos because you can see them, but not necessarily with the naked eye. The gift of the sight doesn't work that way. I agree with your description of a long-haired, faceless female. Oh, I don't like that. So the second point, which is quite interesting, because visually, when we see something with long, dark hair, white, and even with no face or with a face, we tend to associate it with check porn, Pontianak, right? But she says it is not Miss P, and if it is, she doesn't ask for help. She's one of those demons that has a sad history, but is unfortunately not benevolent at all. So she's discounting the fact that it's a Pontianak. The third point she goes, it appears to you because your table is strategically placed to be in front of it and be noticed. And she's suggesting that perhaps feng shui, that area where she's sitting down is a little bit more yin, which is kind of resulting in her seeing this kind of this spirit of this ghost.
When I looked at the picture that you put up earlier, and I saw it on the page as well, it did look shadowy, and the way the shadows were and what when the light was on it, you can imagine of something there.
Yes.
And that's what I got out of that picture as well. Like, you can kind of make something out, but it wasn't very clear. But you know how our imagination is.
I like what Goat from YouTube in the comment section, he posted this, and I tend to agree with this as well. This angle that Goat has mentioned. It is an evil entity. And evil entities don't play fair. It's evil. If you don't like faceless, it will appear faceless, because these are the entities that can read your thoughts, your fears, and it will appear to you in its most horrifying state to scare the hell out of you, because that's how they get their goat on.
It's quite similar to what we hear about entities who feed off negativity or feed off negative energy, and fear being something that these things tend to kind of feed on. Now, I don't know whether I agree or disagree with that. I think it's just one of those theories out there. But I'll keep that in mind, because, if it doesn't like faceless and it will appear faceless, and I just want to say to all the evil entities out there, I do not like Elizabeth Olsen. So, I just dislike her in everything. Or Scarlett Johansson, disgusting, scares the shit out of me.
Reverse psychology, eh?
Hey, that's my job, literally.
Oh, thank you so much for this one on housekeeping. This if you like and if you enjoy what you just heard on housekeeping, you want to find out more, do join the community at Supernatural Confessions or SC Must Be the Hantu on Facebook. We do ask that if you want to join us, there are a few rules to follow. I think the first most commonsensical rule is you gotta believe in the Hantu. Don't point going to a group that talks about such phenomena and only to go there and like ghosts don't exist. Then why are you doing the group, right? So if you enjoy paranormal, supernatural discussions, that everything could be the Hantu, must be the Hantu, and you enjoy that discussion, then this group is for you. Go check us out on Facebook. Also, we have stories and other content on our website, supernaturalconfessions.com. If you like video confessions, check us out on YouTube. All right. Okay, today being Friday the 13th, I felt that we should talk a little bit about Friday the 13th. And this goes out to both you guys as well online. If you know the answer for a fact, right? Don't give the answer away. I'm trying to get people to guess. Right? This goes out to Sonia as well, to JDC. Do you know the origins of Friday the 13th?
I haven't really looked at it, so not really. It's not been an interest, but I don't know.
Sonia? Can you hazard a guess?
All my guesses are going to be dirty and gutter minded, so I'm not even gonna.
What?
I'm not gonna go there. Yeah, it's really bad.
I'm going with it. Could it be linked to some sort of a pagan festival of some sort? Something must have happened on Friday the 13th somewhere, and then it continued and remained through the course of history. And I'm going to go with pagan festival.
Pagan festival. Okay. Anybody else want to give it a shot? Tax Day, demon raining. Okay, no, not that one.
A movie from the 1980s.
Sorry?
I'm gonna go money.
1980s.
1980s.
Movie from the 1980s.
Oh, the Friday 13th, the movie. Okay.
I'm going to go. It has something to do with a commercialization of something, because I think one of the motivations for human behavior to create things like that is people can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I know some of us are definitely in the conspiracy theory groups because I hear Templars coming out, Templars run out and killed on Friday the 13th. You guys are right, totally right on that. However, the history of Unlucky 13 was actually something that's quite recent as in the 1907.
Mhm.
1907, you consider recent.
No, but not as far back as say the Templars and
The 10 BC.
yeah, because some people will even say it goes back as far as from Norse, the Norse folklore. There was a god that called for 12 gods to appear for a party, and Loki was the 13th god that came down and killed Balder, and that's when the whole world went into darkness, and that's the unlucky number 13. And actually, back in history, there was Friday was considered unlucky, and 13 was considered unlucky separately. But once a year on the Gregorian calendar, there's Friday the 13th. And that's when people say that must be the most unluckiest day of the year, right? And it got so bad that in America, Western society, taking MC on Friday the 13th is actually low-key condoned. Like if you tell people I don't come to work today, it's Friday the 13th, for a long time, it was allowed.
Whereabouts again? Sorry?
In
In
States,
where?
in
Oh, are you
America.
serious?
Yeah, which
Wow.
country?
America.
United States.
America! Fuck yeah!
America!
Yeah. So
United States.
So apparently, according to some documents, 1907 from a popular novel, Friday the 13th, contributed to the popularizing of that superstition. Also, where unscrupulous broker takes advantage of superstition to create Wall Street panic, and that happens on Friday the 13th. There was also a guy who claims that Friday is unlucky and 13 is unlucky. He happened to die on Friday the 13th. So there have been a lot of history where bad shit happens on Friday on the number 13. But you're right. It's in modern culture, because again, it's more of a Western thing than anything else. Like in Singapore, I don't think we truly believe Friday the 13th. Right? We talk about it in movies. We just kind of adopted the Western culture. But Sonia, you're in Finland right now.
Yes.
They have a superstition as well. In Finland, a consortium of governmental and non-governmental organizations led by the Ministry of Social Affairs and Health promotes the National Accident Day to raise awareness about automotive safety, which always fall on a Friday the 13th, because apparently in Finland, the highest number of automobile accidents happen on Friday the 13th.
Oh, now you tell me. I was on the highways for 2 hours going at 120 kilometers.
You
Now
see?
you tell me.
You see? You see?
Yeah.
Finish lah.
Mm.
That was another
And
joke.
in Spain, they don't have Friday the 13th. They have Tuesday the 13th. That's a bad luck
What?
for them. Tuesday. And in Italy, they have Friday the 17th. It's bad luck for them.
You're naming all the countries I was recently
Yeah, summer.
in.
Take summer. Bring summer.
In Germany? What about Germany?
No, Germany don't care. Those Germans don't give a shit about whether unlucky day or not. Every day is
Yeah,
going to be fucking lucky.
They will just steamroll over everything. What about in Sri Lanka?
Again, not celebrated there, not observed there. So very few countries actually only in the Western world that Friday the 13th seems to be a bad thing. Of the number 13 seems to be.
I mean, look, you can be unlucky or lucky anytime. And if there's enough people that sit around and say, I was unluckiest on this day, then it becomes cemented, right? Then
Yeah.
everybody's going to say Friday the 13th, wow, so unlucky. But it can happen anytime to anyone.
And Sonia, you mentioned that it's pagan culture, right? That's where Friday the 13th came from. Do you know, according to Chris Pilgrim, and I believe I read this as well, for pagans, especially in the weekend, in Wicca, Friday the 13th is a lucky day.
I was number 13 on my class register. It was a very lucky number for me. So I don't get this. And you know what it is? If you fear something enough, everything can go bad. Like if you say Friday the 13th, I'm going to be afraid to leave my house. God forbid you stab yourself accidentally or something. It's like you get so consumed by the fear that everything and anything that happens can be attributed to that very fear.
There's nothing really big happening in WA about Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
It's just another day. In fact, it's like Friday. Yeah, thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, I would
There's
think
not
that.
that. Yeah, I'm like, oh, Friday, weekend's here almost. It's
End of
almost-
the work week and
Yeah.
all of that, right? For those
But
that end work on
yeah.
Friday.
Because we are in Singapore, we are in Asia. I'm going to share with all you listeners out there from New Zealand and everywhere else that you come from outside of Singapore or in Asia. We are not so much scared of Friday. In fact, we all love Friday, 13 or 17 or any other date. But there's
Friday.
one particular day in the week that most Asians, Malays, and Chinese tend to respect that day very, very much. And apparently, in the military, in army, in Singapore National Service, this is the day that there is no night training.
Ooh, I know what
Thursday.
day. Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
Thursday. Why,
Malam
Sonia? Why?
Jumaat.
Tell our listeners why Thursday.
I think I spoke about it before about the Muslims. It's it's the holiest, I think. Is that what it was? Something about Malam Jumaat.
No,
Yes,
it's
Malam
I can't
Jumaat.
remember.
I from what I understand, it's like the gates of hell are open for a little while, if I'm not wrong. Something to that effect.
It. I thought I know that after Maghrib is the worst time that you can go out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can't
too.
remember why about Malam Jumaat.
I got a couple of objections hearsay coming from the comment section. Apparently, no such thing. Thursday or not, still outfield, still go training. For people who are in the military right now. So the fans are saying that it's a day where spiritual energy is the highest. It's
Right.
Hari Jumat.
Oh,
Yes.
Malam Jumaat, yeah. Thursday night.
Catherine Lang, Catherine
Lang.
Catherine Lang.
Lang, yeah.
Says Christ was crucified on a Friday. 13 is number of disciples during the Last Supper.
And
Yeah,
Chua
I'm
Elaine, I'm not spanking anyone. This is my handy back scratcher. I've become officially an old man, and I love it. Best thing ever created.
Yeah. All right. So
I'll get you the metal one that is extendable.
Oh, you get the one with the like looks like claws.
Yeah.
And I can like
Yes.
and then I'll scratch my back. Someone goes, "Oh, see, spirit, scratch your back. Spirit, scratch your back."
Make it look skeletal and all, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Make sure-
outnumbered today. I got two rational on the team. I'm going to be the only one in camp. Must be the Hantu holding the fort.
Yeah.
Kim, you left me on my own.
Yeah. Where's your offsider? Not here, right? What are we gonna do? Nothing.
I'll take you guys on, man. Take both of you guys on. Anyway, that's all we have for this origins of Friday the 13th. Hopefully, you guys learned something new. As always, on Supernatural Confessions, it's not just about the Hantu story. We try our best to entertain you with our charming personality. Most times we have joke of the week. We do want to share information with you.
Hey,
on
try
a
a joke. I also want to laugh. Come.
Don't have any ready
No,
for
no.
this. Yeah, caught me at a bad time. Yeah. So for those of you who just joined us and thinking, what is this three clowns about? Why are they always bickering? That's because the three of us have very diverse role and responsibility in this show. When a confession come in or when we look at a confession, most times we understand that audience, you guys, you will have different varying degrees of belief, different spectrums of belief. Some will believe wholeheartedly. That's everything is the Hantu. That's me. Some will, no matter Christ can walk on water in front of you and turn your water to wine, you just disbelieve everything. And then there's everyone else in the middle. So what we are trying to find is when we listen to a supernatural confession, what are the possible options that this can be? And that's where the interesting part of the discourse really come in. So today you can either be Camp Eugene Tay, Camp JDC, or Camp Sonia, depending on where your belief system fall on. But let's take a listen at our very first confession for tonight. And this one is Who Is That? Titled Who Is That? Confessed by Alex and is narrated by Marc. Alvin, take it away.
Who Is That? By Alex. This happened approximately 3 to 4 weekends ago. I was having trouble sleeping one night. and decided to relocate myself to our guest bedroom. This guest bedroom, however, had always made me feel uneasy. However, on this night, I fell asleep reasonably quickly, waking up the next morning around 9 a.m., which I have to admit was a little late for me, even on a weekend. I began my usual morning routine by browsing through my phone. Eventually, I got up to pee in the bathroom, which was next to the guest bedroom, as well as the home office. After easing myself, I popped my head into the home office, where I saw my wife editing pictures on her computer. We exchanged morning pleasantries before heading to the kitchen to make my morning coffee. Sitting down on the couch with my coffee, I spent about an hour scrolling through social media and watching TikTok videos to pass time. Then I heard something that gave me a fright: the opening of the garage doors. You see, the passcode was only known to myself, my wife, my parents, and parents-in-law. However, my parents and parents-in-law would always give us a heads up and not turn up unexpectedly. My heart dropped when I saw my wife walking in. I asked her where she was coming back from, and she said that she had a doctor's appointment in the morning, then headed to the office to help out with some work. I am confused with what I had experienced. I know I was not sleeping well for a period of time. However, I believe that I still managed to get a normal amount of sleep. I did not experience any illusions or weird carrying over effects.
You know that the sighting of a doppelganger is almost as common, if not more common, than sleep paralysis.
Wow.
Are you
Mhm.
serious?
Mm.
Okay, that's interesting.
A lot of people have encountered such a phenomena, and they always try to. Okay, maybe I forgot. Maybe it's my imagination, but there have been so many repeated cases, and these are the only few that made it to the confession. Have you had your own encounter? Seen? I know you don't. You personally don't have, but your dad
Hmm.
did, right?
My mom, actually, my mom and my dad. My dad's story was that for those who are new here, I'll retell that story. For those who are,
It's
you
been
know,
a
have
year
been
ago, so
following.
you can probably retell it if it's fine.
Exactly, it's been
I
a
forgot
while
as
back.
well. Yeah.
So before my dad became a psychiatric nurse in WA, when we first migrated over, he worked as a dishwasher in one of the big kind of hotels down here, right? So he was employed to kind of like take up the dishes from the dishwasher, and apparently it's a huge machine. It's not like a dishwasher that you'd see in the house. So he was taking the dishes out, and as he was doing so, he was able to look underneath the dishwasher, and he saw a pair of feet come in and
Oh.
a pair of feet start walking out. And dad remembered thinking, going, "Oh, this must be, let's call him John. This must be John. What's he doing coming back here? Because it's not time for him to do that, and it's not his break time as well. So perhaps he's come in to steal some food and take it and go and eat somewhere else." I think when I spoke to my dad, that's what my dad was saying. So dad says, I'm gonna catch him. So as this guy walked out, my dad followed him, not too close behind, but enough that he could actually see this person, and I think it resembled the friend that he thought it was. And my dad kind of crept, kind of like a ninja, followed him a little bit, and he noticed that as he was doing so, this person was walking deeper and deeper into the bowels of the hotel, and I think it was going underneath there's kind of like tunnels and service entrances at the bottom of the hotel, and he was following him, and dad was going, "This is really strange. Like, what is this guy doing? Why is he coming to this area?" And he was about to turn around a corner, and dad was going, I think I got him. Because dad knew there was a dead end around the corner. And then I think dad just turned around and went, there was no one there. There was no one there at all. And my dad was saying there was no way this person could have gone anywhere else because it was dead end. There were no doors to the side, and dad was quite visibly distressed about this. And he went upstairs. He started doing his work. Someone had actually come in, I think, after that, and noticed my dad's distress and asked him what was wrong. And my dad told him. And this guy, in typical, I think he was from Singapore as well. He says, this kind of things happen here all the time.
Yeah.
And from what they heard, well, from what happened is, I think this person that my dad saw was a suicide case, a guy that had jumped off the hotel, I think some weeks back. So yeah, and it's got that quality, I think, with doppelganger cases, right? You think it's someone that you know, that there's nothing there when you first see this person to suggest that anything paranormal is going on. So you just see your mom, you see your friend, you see your brother, and you go hi, and this person most of the time kind of interacts with you, right? Like how everything's going fine, great, and then you leave, you turn around the corner, the same person's walking that way. Right.
Why I say it's very common because it happened to a lot of people that I know first-hand encounter, like direct 1 degree of separation. My mom saw a doppelganger as well. I saw 2 in my lifetime. A friend of mine, Jane, one of the earlier
goodness,
contributor of Supernatural Confessions. She walked home one evening after she got back from work. She saw her father there reading newspaper. So she go, "Oh, hello, Dad," and like all the doppelgangers will react to you. His normal behavior. She goes to the kitchen. She walks out. Her dad drives in.
Oh,
it's like, who was that? Like, there's no way from the kitchen to come back. Her dad could run to the car, drive out, and then come back in.
Yeah.
My kids have said that about me. They said they saw me walking down my hallway, but I wasn't even home. So they thought I'd come home, and when they checked, I wasn't even home. So
it's a cultural thing, because I think a lot of I think the Peranakans and the Eurasians, we have a thing where we say that for some people they seem to have this second them, the second person.
Yeah.
I think the same thing was said about my grandmother, who they reckon had, people usually say, "Hey, I sort of saw you at the market," or "I thought I saw you there. How can you come back so quickly?" I think maybe certain people have this ability. And when I say ability, I mean that there's a theory that this is not actually a doppelganger, but an astral projection.
I was gonna go with astral projection too. And so when the kids told me that, I said, "Did you miss me that much that you saw me?"
Yeah.
So sometimes with the whole astral projection thing, I actually like the idea of astral projection and being able to send your thoughts and people picking these things up intuitively as well. I like that very much. I find it a very connected kind of a thing. But when it came to the children saying that, and I asked them, "Did you miss me that much?" Are we then able to project that we miss, that we want to see, we're looking for that?
Or you're a twin.
I had someone say that about me.
Yeah,
in London.
There's theories about that, where and I think again I heard
7,
from,
right? Isn't it 7? Did 7 of us all over the world?
Yeah, but not so much a twin that is physically existing or exists somewhere out there in the world, but rather that when your mom had you, perhaps there was a twin there with you, but only you survived that pregnancy.
Oh.
Yeah, and then what they're seeing is actually a twin and not you.
Actually, I want to open this up to all those of you who are listening in right now, watching this. Please, in your comment section and on Facebook or YouTube, please let us know, what do you think this phenomenon is? How would you best explain this? Is this a cross over multiverse? Is this an extra projection? Is this a twin that did not make it, but you did, and that's a spirit version of you? I love that concept. It's the first time I'm actually hearing it, Joe, and I'm actually falling in love with that particular concept. So let us know in the comment section, what do you think is the most likely explanation for this? Hantu, or something paranormal, something supernatural? I'm very interested to find out what you guys have to say about this.
For me, if I miss someone enough, I'm going to see this person everywhere. So, it's like that fleeting side of the eye kind of a thing. But that's just me projecting. So,
yeah,
Alejandros, lots and lots of Alejandros all over the place.
Okay, let's get straight to the comment to see what people are saying. Since on multiverse can ask from Doctor Strange 2, he said that when we dream, we are dreaming of another us in a parallel universe.
Oh
Is
yes.
this true? Well,
No,
I mean,
no spoilers. No spoilers.
yeah. Guys, I don't know whether we can claim any of this is true today, but I think what we can do is throw all these ideas and see how best each of these ideas can stick. And you might find something that really, really that you like. And we will never be able to know it's true or not. Can't be unborn twin. Saravaran says the spirit wouldn't even have come into this realm if you died at the childbirth. But then
It couldn't what? Sorry.
Saravaran Dina Dayalan says it can't be the
Yeah.
unborn twin because the spirit wouldn't even have come into this realm. But in the Taoist belief, a child of unborn, a spirit of an unborn child can also come to this realm. So again, probably
What
depends
about
on which.
Christianity? In Christianity, when does the baby
Conception.
at conception, right? The soul.
The conception, yeah. In certain religions, and again, please forgive me if I'm wrong. I've had this told to me by a friend. Like for example, in Hinduism, it's around 3 months when the spirit does enter the. And I don't know. So the different cultures, yeah, had different understandings as to when that that fetus becomes a living person.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
because as far as we understand, the human body is a vessel. So to have the spirit enter the vessel, when that differs from culture to culture, religion to religion.
More interesting comments have just came in. Saledin L, as well
hello.
as Saravaran again. Some says jinn or another spirit that wants you to believe that it's your loved one. A cheeky spirit just pretending, taking this form. Harmless.
Yeah.
More cheekiness than anything else.
Mark
Unless
Shipper.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Mark Shipper writes, my dog was put to sleep in the afternoon by my sis, which I didn't realize, but he appeared to me in the night. Could this be a doppelganger? It's usually that is what I would usually class like an apparition or a spirit, whereas a doppelganger seems to be the like a manifestation of something of that's already living. You know, so if I'm say for example, I'm in Finland and then Eugene sees me walking in Singapore, like how can that be? So
I astral traveled.
Perhaps.
Anthony Lee said something that I was told when I was a lot younger as a child. Remember, I grew up in a Peranakan family, and I told you my grandma, everything's the Hantu, right? So this was what I've got from her. When you see someone like your dad at home or your parents at home, it sometimes is the guardian spirit, the penunggu,
Pengundu.
The penunggu, the guardian of the house
Yeah.
is the one that takes on that form. So usually the one at home.
I'd like to think that it's a comforting thing,
Oh,
right? If you
didn't
see
say
a loved
anything.
one, isn't it a
They usually take the form of the most authoritative
thing?
person at home. Like if it's a father figure, right? He's the head of the house. The spirit will take on the father figure.
My God.
But in this case, your kids are seeing you, so I guess we know who wears the pants at home, lah.
Obviously, it's me, but
yeah. So you don't have to worry, JDC. You probably won't see a doppelganger of yourself at home.
Yeah, I don't. Don't pecah lubang on air, bro.
So bad.
Look, I've heard a few people talk about wanting to hear Kim's joke. So Kim's actually on YouTube at the moment. Yeah, so he's having a gay old time there, having a chat with everyone, and you know, just like having a holiday today. Yeah, thanks for that, Kim. But
hey,
I'm gonna
joke.
I'm gonna channel Kim for a little bit, right? And I'm gonna tell a very Kim joke. It's a very dirty joke. Remember, I'm channeling Kim. This is not from me. This is Kim coming through me. Okay. Hold on, so I'm getting something. Why do women have orgasms?
Why?
Just another reason to moan, really.
Kim, how can you tell this kind of joke, Kim?
I just Kim, You're not even here, and you're telling this disgusting joke. Stop it! I'm not challenging you again. No. Horrible, horrible man.
Another reason to
No, I'm
mourn.
sorry, guys. I'm really sorry for that.
Yeah, we
It won't
apologize on
happen
behalf
again.
of our co-host
Yeah.
Kim. Terrible jokes, terrible jokes.
Yeah, horrible.
Kim
More than you
says,
think
"Fuck you
about.
guys."
You see? Foul language.
Okay, let's go on to the very next confession that we have tonight. This one is also a very doppelganger type of story. We thought it'd be very interesting to keep this theme because there's a lot to talk about. Clearly from the comment section, this one is a mimic by narrated by Linda. Unfortunately, the name of this confessor is hard for me to pronounce, and I'm not going to try to mangle it. But Linda did a very good job telling the name during the narration. Alvin, take it away.
This next supernatural confession comes from Anamoya. It is entitled The Mimic. Hi there. I'm curious to know how many of you out there have experience with what I call the mimic. I call it this because I'm unsure exactly what it is, but on a couple of occasions I've heard or seen someone I know, only to later realize they weren't actually there. My very first encounter with the mimic was when I was coming home from visiting a friend. As I pulled into the driveway, I looked up at the kitchen window. Inside, I saw my mum doing the dishes, as she would do each night in that exact spot. I opened the car door, locked it, and started walking towards the gate. That's when I noticed that my car was the only one there, and I froze. I instantly called my parents and told them what I'd seen, only for them to laugh it off and think I was making it all up. I sat in my car until they arrived about half an hour later and wondered what exactly I'd just experienced. My second encounter was with my now husband's father. He was the type of person who had a very dominant presence. He used to wear heavy leather boots which he stomped around in, and he had a distinctive way of clearing his throat. Often, when I walked past his room when he was out, I would get a very bizarre feeling. It was almost like he was there, watching us. One night, we threw a party and gathered some friends, and all of us heard his distinctive boots and him clearing his throat in his bedroom. My now husband and I both looked at each other with an odd look, a quizzical look. Then our friend said, "Oh, is your dad here?" Of course, when we went to check, he wasn't. It was just another creepy encounter with the mimic. I wish I knew what caused this strange phenomena. Is it some type of spirit, a type of astral projection, or even a time overlap? I'm just not sure, and I don't think I can ever figure it out. I'm curious to see if anyone else has experienced this strange phenomena and what others think. Have you seen or heard something similar?
Since we're on the topic of doppelganger and mimics, there's a story that I want to share with you guys. This was told to me by somebody I interviewed. Someone said I clear throat a lot. I don't even realize that.
Just like the story, the guy had a very distinctive way of clearing his throat.
One of the most common occurrence of doppelganger or mimic in this case, a mimic I think is it's the same thing, right? Mimic would be an entity that takes on your form. Same way of doppelganger would do it as well. There's one scary story from the NS side of things where I've heard this guy tell me he was doing guard duty. This was in Tekong, right? It was in Tekong, and it was during one of those camp ATEC, not ATEC. It was an exercise that you would have to pretend, go through the whole routine as if it's really a war simulation, right? They put cone wire around the area, and you have tentage inside, and there'll be guard duty personnel who would walk around and do guard duty outside, right? The perimeter. So these two guys was walking with their rifle, walking around the perimeter, and then they saw somebody, right, in the distance, squatting down, right, moving. I mean, someone was moving in the peripheral vision, right, and then squatting down in the bush. So they saw, both of them, guard duty personnel, saw someone moving and then squat, wearing the army gray t-shirt and the pants. From the botak head and everything, because everyone in BMT looks alike. So, and because you're so near camp and at night someone's walking out, you do not think it's the Hantu. It's not your first thought. It's just somebody at night, stomach ache, need to go and take a shit, right? But being 18, 19-year-old boys, when someone take a shit, you go and disturb the fella.
Yeah, 100%. Even now.
Hey, Mike, Mike, you go there, right? You're not going to leave the guy alone. So they walk towards him, torchlight everything, and flash. Hey, go further in, bro. Go further in. Okay. So the guy was just squatting there. And when they got really close, they both felt something was wrong. There was that vibe. It just overcome. Suddenly just goosebumps all start to rise from the Mike. Then they suddenly just, fuck, something's not right. We both feel something's not right. Without talking to each other, they say, fuck lah, never mind. Let's just go lah, right? Let's leave Mike alone. They walk away. But they still did not feel right.
Okay.
They keep turning back, keep flashing. The guy was still there. Right? So eventually they made one round and they walked back to the spot again. That's when they realized, if this guy was taking a shit, why didn't he have his pants down? His pants were still on.
Oh.
He was just squatting down. And that's when they walked towards him. When they got close enough to want to see his face, this thing stood up, right, and walked into the Lalang. Because there's a lot of foliage around.
Is this the first time or the second time?
The second time they got
the second time.
Second
Yeah.
round.
Okay.
Second round, right? It walked right through, and you can see things and move, and they were like, "What the fuck?" Because they just felt it was wrong. Then they didn't want to chase the thing. They just went back to camp and say, "Hey, Sergeant, we saw one soldier walk through the Lalang patch." Then everybody was woken up, coming out of the tent. Hey, head count. Right. And remember, this was a conwire fence. It was a fenced up area. It would be very silly of anyone to try to jump or climb over concertina wire, right? So there's only one way in, one way out. As I said, it was an exercise. It was fortified. So when they were counting head count and everything, it would be very clear if someone had walked in and joined the company.
Okay.
No one did. All head count was accounted for. So who the hell was that guy that squatted there and walked out to the Lalang? This was not something that can happen, like a missing soldier just happened to do that. And when they went back to the Lalang spot area, if this was a soldier walking through, his boots would have trampled over the Lalang, correct?
Yeah.
He would have
the
Lalang flattened down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or at least parts of it would have been broken. Like tracks. Yes.
They saw the Lalang parted as the thing moved in, but it was not possible. If you had a boot print, you would have created a path. When they went back to that spot, there was no path at all. That thing just floated right through the Lalang patch. So many years later, all right, when they were sharing this story, that this story made its round, someone actually came up to the table and says, "Hey, you mentioned about you having a personal experience, seeing this soldier squatting down and moving forward, right? It's not a second, third party down the line as a hearsay. Objection, hearsay. No, it's not. You experience it, right?" The guy says, "Yes." He says, "Thank you. I want to share something with you as well." When he was in another separate situation, right? This is not even like people telling the story secondhand, and his personal experiences, right?
It's a different guy to the two guys.
Yeah, like years after. So obviously these two guys remembered their experiences. Right?
Yeah.
He says, "I was there for a leap and bound." Right, leap and bound is you fire, you do the what do you call it? Not a tactical movement. Like you go from tree to tree, then you move, then you prone, and you try to assault. Jaden, if you're listening to this, help me out here. What is it called? fire movement. Fire movement. Was it command and fire movement?
Don't worry about Janan. I've played Call of Duty. I know how army people move in real life. Okay, and I think you're correct. That's a tactical move, and I have stormed many a base with that move. My KD ratio,
So
awesome.
whatever you say is right.
So
Thank you. So
Sorry.
he was
No, as
he
in
was-
I won't know any better. So go ahead.
yeah. So he was proning down, and on his right side, he saw this army boy, in a gray t-shirt with the word army at the back, in green slacks, squatting down, back facing him, cannot see face. This was in the middle of an exercise. Everyone is full battle order, helmet, everything. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing there? So he thought it was one of his camp mates or anything, or anyone. Because you must understand, when we are training for army in that area, it will only be your friends. There's not going to be a visitor or a stranger or
or
somebody
anyone
who-
else, yeah.
Yeah. If the guy is there, he's likely to be in your company, even though you don't recognize him because everyone's going to be botak head, right? So you take a stone and you throw to him. Hey, bro, what are you doing? Why are you facing that side? We're all going to go this side, right? Not taking into account that everyone's in helmet, long sleeve, full battle order with weapon. This guy is not. But it did not occur to him then, right? He threw the stone. A stone hits something, bounce off. This thing got up and run towards the Lalang again, disappearing into it. So he was obviously very.
Can I?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was there any accidents on that army training ground before of a recruit passing away or
Yeah.
any real story attached to that area?
So these two stories that was told to me came from first-hand experiences. So I'm able to at least retell this story with a high degree of accuracy. Of course, once these stories get out there and people are always looking for a reason, then you have 1,001 different variation of people coming in and say, yeah, somebody died during training.
Yeah.
Is that really true? Did that really happen? We don't know. But the urban legend is, somebody must have died there.
What is it about Lalang?
Because the
Why-
that area has Lalang.
and that's so creepy. Like in United States, there's stories about things that hide in the corn, right? Like the ghost goes in the corn and disappears. Singapore is different. It's the Lalang, so you just got to be careful about
Elephant
what-
grass.
And I tell you what, it's really creepy just to see something just go into the tall grass and just disappear. And sorry, Sonia, I can't hear a single word you're saying. I can hear your mouth. I think it's a technical thing. I can't hear you. So
Yeah.
I think
can
Eugene
hear her,
can.
no?
I
Yeah.
can't hear her.
Eugene, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Everybody else, can they hear me?
Everyone online, can you hear Sonia? It'll take a 20-second lag before they can reply.
Yeah, but how come JDC can't hear me?
Yeah, but the soldier in the Lalang, wow, bro, those are, I think, of all the stories that you've told, those two are my favorites. I just love the visual of it, of a guy just kind of squatting there and then just getting up. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You can't even
You
see
know
his
why?
face.
Why it's so gripping is because it's being told by our army boys who's out there. So it has that degree of realism.
Yeah. So that was a story I wanted to share with you guys. But Sonia and JDC, do you guys have anything else to add to this particular topic?
I wanted to
I
know-
don't know what Sonia's saying, so I'm gonna probably just let her speak. You guys can let me know what she's saying.
I will try to channel Sonia to you later on. Okay, Sonia.
My question, it remains the same. Was there any facts behind any deaths in that particular area? Because as stories that are passed down, then that could influence what you see out there, low light conditions, and all of that.
Sonia,
So,
I think that's very rude to say such things about JDC. I don't think he would appreciate anything that calling him fat and everything. Yeah, I'm sorry, JDC. I mean, I had to tell her off. She was talking about how you put on so much weight, your double chin and everything.
Thank you for having my back, Eugene.
Yeah, of course. Bro.
You just can't trust people these days.
So yeah, Sonia, about
where are you, Sabo?
about the history of the place. This is
No,
Tekong.
so I mean, Tekong, and there are many army training grounds in Singapore as well. A lot of these areas are heavily vegetated and used to be villages. Like Amakeng, for instance, used to have a village in those army training grounds. So, you know, the land is old. It goes very far back. It has a lot of history. It has a lot of energy to these places. I've been in some of these areas, and you do get some funny stuff that happens. And I can't explain it. I've been in situations where if you don't walk carefully, you end up in a well that's as big as a 3-room flat.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a certain amount of fear going into these places, and of course preconceived notions of stories and stuff. So whatever you're told. And Tekong, I've heard so many ghost stories out of Tekong. You remember when we were asking people to submit stories
Yeah.
about their NS days?
Yeah.
How many stories came out of that?
Yeah. It's army stories is always an evergreen, it's classic. But these two stories I've retold. These were first person narrative, and they swear by it. Again, no reason for them to lie. Let's go straight to the comment section. JDC, I probably need you to help me with this because the comments are just coming in quite fast and furious. Can you pick some of the
so
comments
sorry.
that
I can't help with the comments. I'm using my phone, so I can't read comments. Please read them out.
JDC, you take Facebook, I'll take YouTube.
Yeah. What?
Or which one?
You
You want YouTube or Facebook?
Okay, no worries.
You
Look,
take
there was
YouTube
an
since you're on
interesting
there.
YouTube one. I'll go with YouTube, yeah? So it's
Okay.
by Night Owl. He goes, could be a squatter. It could be a squatter. So are there durian trees nearby? I have an outsider peeping at me when I was inside a trench in the wee hours of the night. Next thing I saw, he gave me a durian before walking off.
Oh, so yes, there are stories of people who have
Lusu79 goes, and
farms
I
in
tend to
there.
agree with him or her. You cannot discount the fatigue element during army exercises. Now I know, especially during, and this is from reading some of those, Singapore Army books when I was, the comics when I was very much younger. I think in the 90s. And I know that when you guys have to dig the trench, that's a very tiring exercise, right? People fall asleep because you can go for like a day or two without sleep, right? People can hallucinate.
But two soldiers hallucinating at the same time during guard duty, that's a bit tougher. And having somebody else years later in another separate incident seeing the same description of that entity, that kind of rules out fatigue already to me.
I reckon fatigue could explain the second exercise, the second story, and not necessarily the first one. And the first one, could that be, someone that was there, but they just didn't recognize who they were? I understand though, like I'm grasping at straws here, forgive the pun, Lalang straws. But when I find it kind of difficult to kind of explain away, because you're right, you have two people who think they're seeing the same person, and this person just disappears in the bush. It's a military facility, so they're not going to fuck around when it comes to head counts or who's allowed in that facility.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a question mark. Who is that? I have no explanation for that. That's probably the closest you're going to get me to come to the. It must be the.
So some say it's like could be the durian one, right?
Tekong
Like
some more. It's you can only get there by ferry.
Tekong is tough. Like Amakeng and all that. Yes, you can have people like walking around, but in Tekong, it's Tekong.
Yeah. There you go.
Tekong
Anyway,
still has a lot of British bunkers and all that still there.
Yeah, so I can't remember, is it CISPAC or BMT, but I remember I think it's BMT, but it's also held in Tekong. But then again, CISPAC was at one point in Tekong. So now that you ask me the question, I'm a bit hazy, but definitely in Tekong. Iman Arisa says, I get you, been there face to face. Oh, that's Nisun Camp. Okay, let's move on to your guys' favorite segment. This is I've got to give credit where credit is due. This is Kim's very hard work, his pride and joy. He is Mr. Know Your Hantu, taking over from me in the category of the Hantology. This guy is now the walking Wikipedia for all things Hantu. And thanks to you guys who's been requesting, asking, throwing him all these challenges, Pakistani ghosts, Korean
What
ghosts.
Pakistani ghosts?
The comments that we are getting from fans asking, can we get Kim to research on Pakistani ghosts or the Korean ghosts? And it's hilarious. But Kim is always up to the challenge and he do not want to let any of the fans down. This one is also requested by fans. And let's take a listen to Know Your Hantu. This one is called Kappa. Alvin?
Kappa.
Last episode of Know Your Hantu, we were in Korea. This time, we're gonna go to Japan. We're gonna talk about Kappa. A Kappa, also known as Kawataro or River Boy, is an amphibious yokai found in traditional Japanese folklore. They are depicted as green human-like beings with webbed hands and feet, but instead of skin, they have like a turtle shell on their back. These humanoid creatures stand roughly at the height of a 10-year-old kid, is said to inhabit ponds and rivers of Japan. Despite their small size, they are said to be physically stronger than a grown man. Kappa are usually described as mischievous troublemakers, from minor crimes such as peeping up women's kimono if they are standing too near to the water, to outright malevolence such as drowning people, kidnapping children, raping women, and at times eating human flesh. However, there are writings that mention it is not uncommon for Kappa to befriend human. Folks mention cucumber is Kappa's traditional favorite meal. In Edo, old Tokyo, there used to be a tradition where people would write the names of their loved ones or family members on cucumbers and send them afloat into the streams to mollify the Kappa to prevent them from getting harmed if they happen to meet the creatures. Fun fact, a cucumber-filled sushi roll is known as kappamaki. Kappa are not entirely antagonistic to human beings. Once befriended, Kappa can perform tasks for its friends, such as helping farmers irrigate their land or help bring them food such as fresh fish. They are also mentioned to be highly knowledgeable about medicine, and legend states that they are the one that taught human beings the art of bone setting.
I'm sorry, the art of pawn setting?
Bone setting. Bone setting.
Oh, okay.
No pawn setting, bro. That's
But
different.
this is Kim you're talking about, you know. I've
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
yeah. Okay. Cannot hear
I can hear.
Sonia.
I can hear Sonia.
Sonia, I can't hear you now.
Oh, now I can hear her. I can see her, but I can't hear her. You're correct.
Sonia, you might have to refresh. Hit fresh. Cannot hear you. Tiabo.
Okay. Chua Elaine goes hentai. I don't know what hentai is. What's hentai?
I don't know. I don't know what's
I don't
happening.
know.
Can eat one, right? Can eat one.
Yeah, it sounds like a dish, a delicious dish.
Yeah.
It's interesting about the kappa though, because I think the kappa was also I can't remember if it was mentioned, but the inspiration behind the Ninja Turtles, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I've read that somewhere.
But there's no frogs in Ninja Turtle. There's a turtle and a splinter.
Yeah, but the kappa is also meant to be like a half man, half turtle kind of thing, spirit.
Oh, okay,
Better?
okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoa!
Just came in like that, like a wrecking ball. Okay, so that is your Know Your Hantu. I know some of you are now asking for Eskimo Hantu. Oh God.
Oh gee.
It gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
Now we're doing requests. That's great.
Yeah. The clerk says he
Keep
wants
on
to see a
coming.
new show called Hantu Hentai Hunters.
That can be arranged.
For you guys who are watching us on Friday Night Live and not sure what other shows that we have on Supernatural Confessions, we sometimes have Hantu Hunters on Monday, where Kim, Alvin, and JDC will play a game called
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia, because those who have guts will do investigation, those who don't play computer games.
It's training, bro. It's training
Training for?
for technical support later on when there's an investigation.
On Tuesday nights, 10 o'clock, Ghost Mortem has came back, season 5. So if you like horror stories, like ghost stories, watching movies, and you want to dissect and discuss all these horror movies, join us on Tuesday night. We might have Where is Chichi coming back on Thursday, but we're looking for a co-host. So if you like to co-host with the very beautiful Sonia Kurana on Where is Chichi, where real investigators investigate, you can join her. Leave a comment, and she will try to chat with you and see whether you guys can have that chemistry to be on show together.
Just approach me directly. I'm not reading comments right now, but you can reach out to me through Facebook or through Eugene. My number's not as easily available as yours is.
Yeah.
But yes, do reach out, because Gigi has stated he would love to come back. Maybe once every 3 weeks or so because of work commitments.
Yeah.
But we do need a co-host because Wayne is inundated with work
and a new love life, so he got no time for us. So if you like to co-host and you want to give it a shot, drop a message to me and say you want to co-host with Sonia, and we will run a casting couch audition, and then we'll let you know.
Yes, please. Can you send me the video for vetting as well?
For research purposes, right?
Of course, always.
Well, let's go to our third and final confessions for tonight. Before we go on to the 11:30 featured confession by Hadi J, part 2. This one is on botanical gardens. And if we have time, I hope we do, I will tell you a botanical garden story, guys. This one, again, is straight up from someone I know who was working there. But before that, let's take a listen to Darkest Hour. Darkest. Get it? Darkest Hour by Nicole Lee.
What's darkest?
Quack, darkest. Darkest Hour.
That's duckies.
It's
this is
a
darkest.
joke. He's making it darkest. Must explain.
No. There's no such thing as a darkest. It's duckies.
I really should not quit my day job.
Yeah.
Jokes is not my thing.
Especially if Sonia's on the panel, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
anyway, Darkest Hour by Nicole Lee, narrated by Allie. Elvin, take it away.
This is a confession sent in by Nicole Lee, entitled Darkest Hour. Hi everyone. Really enjoy reading everyone's posts on here, and I thought I'd share this experience I had when I was staying in a hall as a freshman 3 years ago. I had a roommate whom I already knew prior to staying together, and our room was structured in a way such that our cupboards separated my side and her side of the room. So when both of us go to our own beds, we can't see each other. But overall, it is a small room just with a divider in between. There was a night when I had gone to bed and I couldn't tell if I was drifting in and out of a semi-conscious state or I was asleep the whole time and simply had a dream. But I felt like I had people around me. Either in my dream/dazed state, I believed that I was in the company of some people, and I was gonna liken it to the feeling of the time I fell asleep while drinking with some friends in my room. Except, I didn't have anyone over in my room that night, and no drinking was involved. I could hear people talking. I felt like I was talking to some people, as if the lights were on and they were sitting around my bed. And in the midst of it, I think I even woke up several times to check the time on my phone. Those times that I woke up, I somehow was still not completely woken up and thought I was with people. The presence wasn't menacing at all, and if anything, it felt friendly, like I was just hanging with a bunch of friends. Eventually, I woke up for real, and when I woke up, I was still smiling from my interactions with those people. At that point, I realized that I was all alone and there was no one around me. There was no sound from my roommate's side of the room, so I assumed she was asleep. All the lights were off too. I can't even begin to explain the shock I felt when I realized that I was all alone, because the whole time it really felt like I had people around me. I sat up in shock. Then I checked the time and it was 4 a.m. I was tired, so I just brushed it aside as my imagination went back to bed. The next morning, my roommate asked me if I slept well. She said she didn't sleep well because she was half asleep the whole night and felt as though there was some kind of commotion in her room. I asked, "What? Really?" I had the same feeling. I felt like I was talking to people. "Did it feel like you were with friends?" She said yes, and she didn't want to be explicit about that at first because she knew I was a jumpy person and we had just moved in not long ago. I asked her what time it was when she felt those things. and she said 4 a.m., which was the time that I woke up and checked my phone. This was quite the eerie experience for the both of us, where we experienced the exact same thing at the exact same time in two different sides of the room, but nothing else happened again after that night, thankfully.
Dun, dun. This phenomena, guys. You want to take this, Sonia and JDC?
4 o'clock is
Sonia
3
can
4
speak
o'clock
for
is
me.
when I get up, go pee.
Sorry,
Can
I
you hear
missed it.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
can.
was a bit of a lag. Sorry for me.
Yeah. 3 o'clock
Yeah,
is when she
I
get up and
said
go
3
pee.
4 o'clock. It's around that time. Now, in the story, I heard them say they've moved in. It's a new place. They both got up at about the same time. Both of them did not feel comfortable. You're in a new place, and you know the stress of moving, all of that's it's gonna wreck with you. It's gonna play with you, and not to mention if you've been having late nights, moving, packing, and all that, you've messed with your circadian rhythms
Rhythm.
already. You're not getting enough rest, not getting enough sleep. So, and then you're in a brand new place. You're not going to feel as comfortable as you did in your own house. There's a little bit of a adjustment period, I would say, and I would think. So getting up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, go toilet. Please don't get on your phone at that time because the light from your phone is going to keep you up. And once you start scrolling your social media, you can forget about going to sleep. So even if you do get up, you know, try and go back to sleep. And
She
unless you
just gave
really
you sleeping advice.
Yeah,
Hantu be
I was
damned.
like,
You guys need to
yeah.
have your sleep, guys.
Yeah, don't worry about the Hantu.
Don't forget to drink 8 glasses
Don't
of
worry
water.
about it.
Have a good pee. Have a sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Unless you are unless it really keeps you up. Don't look under your bed. How's that? Is that Hantu enough? Don't look under your bed.
Sure, guys. 3 o'clock, witching hour, and all that. Be damn. Have a good night rest. That's Sonia's advice.
I'm gonna start giving
Yeah.
random pregnancy advice again, like I did last time. You're just coming up with sleep health kind of like
Yeah.
stuff. Sleep
JDC,
hygiene.
what
I
about
mean,
you?
I think my
No, I said already. They could. Sorry, go ahead.
no,
Jacob.
you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I said
I don't know, but the whole
they're
YouTube.
tired.
Okay.
The whole YouTube what?
YouTube discussion has been going on about Eugene's bush. Eugene has no bush. There is
What?
no bush.
What the?
I don't get the
Yeah, I
context.
have no idea. Someone, I sing bush. Yeah, no bush. Manscaping 101. Okay, yes. We'll take this offline. For $500, I'll show you an NFT of my bushless. Yeah,
Bush.
there's only. So this one, I have a experience in Indonesia where I felt the room was extremely crowded, but I was alone there. But in my dream and in this state, I felt that there are people in the room asking me to close my bag. And when I went out in the middle of the night, I woke up. I just closed my bag because it's just that the command in my head was that nagging. Next morning, I woke up. I still remember that I had a dream. And so I went to the back wondering why is it so important that these people in the room was asking me to close my bag. I opened up the zip and I found talisman because my mom packed my bag and she put talisman inside. So there were
Oh.
spirits in the room that did not like it.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to add something else. Sorry, JDC. Before you your take on things, there was just one more thing I want to add about what I've been told. If you get up at that kind of hour, it is also a reminder to pray. Someone told me sometimes when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning is a reminder to pray.
I'm having difficulty listening to Sonia.
Yeah, she's breaking up a little bit for me as well.
Yeah.
But I think she's saying that waking up at that time
Okay,
of the
never-
morning might be a time for you to pray. Like maybe your body
To
naturally
pray.
falls
Yes.
into that. Yeah. Yeah, perhaps. I had very little add to what Sonia was saying, because I think Sonia and I were going down the same route, which is basically that circadian rhythms, especially if you're traveling. So, and I think her discussion about sleep hygiene, in one sense, is quite important and interesting, because I think if you think about what you're watching and what you're reading before you go to sleep, can really impact the health of your sleep, as well as perhaps what you're dreaming. So I'm wondering if this person could have experienced something like what they experienced because they were reading something maybe spooky or something like that before they went to sleep. So aside from strange feelings of being in a crowded room, there was nothing really overtly paranormal for me. But I have been in situations when you just go into somewhere and you just have a sense of that you're not alone, that there are people and things around you. There is very likely a psychological or a neurological explanation for that. I'm just not very sure what it is at the moment.
For those
I'm
of
very
you
lucky. I
who
sleep like the dead. I'm not gonna get up for nothing.
Yeah.
I would definitely
Not even
encourage you
snoring.
guys who are on the borderline of paranormal world, where you love to listen to paranormal stories, but at the same time you're scared of them. I would highly encourage you to listen to what JDC and Sonia have to say, so you don't scare yourself. Because what I'm going to tell you is on the other side of the spectrum. Our body, right? I feel we can sense spirits, and this can come in the form of goosebumps, discomfort, a slight kink in the neck. We have some signs that if you are in haunted places often enough, you would recognize the signs of your own body. Some people break in cold sweat. Some people have on the right side of the arm. There are signs where it tells you a place is haunted. So for me, when I hear a story like that, and there have been many occasions where we have been in a place, and when we do investigation, we say, wow, this room feels very crowded. And it's the same sense, that same feeling that this whole place, something's just around you. And most times they don't mean any harm to you, but that means that place is dirty enough. But for those of you who are not dealing with such things, not going to such places looking for things, if you're going to go into a place and scare yourself because of what you hear, what we talk about, then I very much suggest the advice that Sonia gives you: go and sleep. And the rationale reason that JDC tells you, it's probably something else than not the supernatural. But this is one discussion that is always going to be a gray area. Is it not? Because we can never prove it. But I will go with what's best for you.
And we haven't gone down the EMF route, right? But I'll make a very small comment that research has shown that if you subject different areas of the brain, not to high levels of EMF, but actually low levels of electromagnetic frequency, specific areas of the brain, you can have a sensed presence, meaning that you can have a feeling that there is something or someone around you. So, there could be the wiring of that place. It could be your head being too close to your phone. It could be a faulty alarm clock that is somehow leaking the electromagnetic kind of field around you. That's
That is
potentially
100%
another
correct.
explanation.
100% with
Nice.
you on that, JDC. If you guys you get the chance to go down to Peace Center, 4th floor, a corner unit, right? That unit, a lot of the tenants say it's haunted. We were in that unit for a short while as well, and every time we're in that unit, we feel very uncomfortable that we are being watched. And this was also the time where I was moving into doing investigation, and I brought my EMF meter, and I turned on the EMF meter in the office, and guess what? It was reading very high, but consistent EMF emission.
Yeah.
Right? So there's not a ghost. It's a constant EMF emission. Means in the aircon duct on those shopping mall buildings, like on the rooftop beside the window. So that's creating a lot of EMF. And in that
The
office,
condenser units are.
but it's the shopping mall type, is the things are spinning. Next time I'll show you the photo. It's an old building. So that corner unit, because of
The
the
big
high EMF, everyone feels haunted. They don't feel comfortable. They feel being watched. So yes, so science have managed to prove that.
And there's another explanation. Since you brought up the sound of the aircon unit, another thing that could potentially explain this might be infrasound, basically very low frequency sound. And again, research has been conducted that shows that infrasound can cause visual hallucinations. It can also cause a sense of anxiety, of unease, of dis-ease in the room. And so people could potentially interpret that sense of dis-ease, that sense of unease, as a presence in the room. Oh, I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. The room is a little bit small. Infrasound's bouncing off the walls. Geez, there's people around me.
Yeah.
Some people are more sensitive than others.
To infrasounds, certainly.
Yeah. So we talk about all the scientific part of this thing, but imagine when you feel a presence in your room and you try to rationalize it, only to realize that there's no EMF fluctuation, no ultrasound in your room. So how are you going to explain that experience?
Well,
anyway, that's for you guys to think about.
Just go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, there's 4 minutes left on the clock. I'd like to just share the Botanical Garden story with you guys.
Yes.
Because today's feature story is on Botanical Gardens Hantu. There's about 5 stories in there. 3 of them are Botanical Gardens. 2 of them is about Hadi J's own home. This story I'm about to share with you is from a high-ranking employee in Botanical Gardens. She has already left, so her job is not at risk. And she said, Eugene, I just want to share with you, Botanical Gardens is very, very haunted. This is literally this is how she talks, okay? Botanical Gardens is very, very haunted, okay? There's certain places that you just don't go, and we don't let people go because bad things always happen to these areas. And we do want to respect the spirits of that place, so we block it off. There's one time they were moving this tree from one location to another location. I tell you, Eugene, there's a lot of problem. The tree cannot be moved. Okay. So now I'm going to get serious and use my own voice because it's so serious that it caused the death of one of the foremen. There was a foreman working there. They have a metal container. They stay overnight. And every night they can hear clawing sound on the top, crying from the tree. And when he went out and he went up to the tree and he talked to the tree, he says, "Hey, please lah, let me do my job. Let me do my job, right?" And in his mind, when he sleeps, he has dreams to say, "Don't move my tree or I will kill you. I will kill you." But he said, "This is my job." So eventually he somehow tried to move the tree, chop the tree, or to some degree, he did not move the tree, but it was found out 2 weeks later he had he committed suicide or he died in his sleep or something to that effect. I can't remember the exact details, but he passed away. Especially when he told his boss, which is this lady who just shared this with me, that there is a ghost who do not want the tree to be moved and his life is in danger. So obviously he says, don't talk rubbish, do what you're supposed to do. And until he passed away in mysterious circumstances, she then decided to take his word seriously, but then it's too late. She went back down. She herself stayed one night. She did not tell me her experience in that one night, but she says, okay, after the incident, we did not move that tree. I wrote in a letter to say that tree will remain there. We will build a path around it. So if you go to Botanical Gardens and you see there's a path that somehow just meanders away around a tree in a very odd manner that it's not in line with like any architecture design, that's the particular tree we're talking about.
Oh wow! I'm really curious as to what experience she had when she stayed in that unit. Did she not want to share with you? Was she uncomfortable?
Very uncomfortable to share. It's like, I don't want to talk about it. Don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
And that's just one character. Obviously, we heard from the news and the rumors that there are a lot of people sharing stories. But again, I'm always looking for that first-hand experience, right? And Hadi J's story today, he used to work there as well. And he talks about the Pontianak in the tree. He talks about Orang Bunyan in the place. Now, Botanical Gardens is 163 years old. It's UNESCO heritage site. It's old. And anywhere where there's nature and spirits, you can bet your last dollar that it's going to be protected by something.
Penggudu.
Penggudu.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Oh, can't hear you, Sonia. She went Okay. Anyways, 11:30. Let's us say goodbye. Any last words,
Just
JDC?
I do actually. Just before we go, I would like to thank the guys and the gals who bought us a coffee tonight, and since last Friday as well. So I have a Nick W, Lucy79, CC Co, Ramesh, and Shamla Puchis. Thank you so much. We will drink all the coffees that you have presented to us. And again, for all of you guys who have tuned in tonight, thank you so much for your support. We do this. I was having a conversation with Eugene. We do this because we love it. And any support that you show us, monetary or even your presence on the show tonight, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And my name is Joe Dakota, and I always say there are always more questions than there are answers. Answers.
And since can you guys hear Sonia? If you guys can't hear Sonia, I'm just gonna try to channel her in.
Yeah, channel her.
Hi, my name is Sonia Kurana, and as with most things, there might be a super rational explanation for most things.
I'm
Good
gonna
night.
laugh.
She's down there like, I'll get you. Anyway, my name is Eugene Tay, and you can hear bumps at night or scratches and outside the window. And remember, most of these things has a very simple explanation. It must be the Hantu. All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you guys next Friday. For now, go straight to Supernatural Confessions YouTube. I'll drop the link on Facebook and wherever. Hardy J's confession on Botanical Gardens, haunting stories that the public don't know about. All right, good night, everyone. See you guys next week.
What did you find?
You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.